Oh my, I was right. I'm putting this at the beginning of the video. Johnny Cage fixed invulnerability to high attacks during the sum of the recovery frames of Ballbuster while in wowing out hype state. I put that in a road to rank run. Roll the clip right now. I was called crazy in the comments that it didn't make sense.
Fight.
What? Where's the punish? Bro, where was my punish on the other move that I was... This should be a lesson to me, to never let the internet drive me insane, because I started to believe some of you telling me it was intended. That's just how the game worked. I'm so validated. Add me on crossplay. Here's my tag. I actually think the 2 patches we got for Season 4 of Mortal Kombat 1 have been the most impactful patches. I don't think we got near as much changed as when we had the complete cameo overhaul, where practically every single cameo on this list right here got a buff of some sort. Like, that was definitely more changes and more content. As much as we talked about the Cyrax meta and the Lao meta, I think those changes still do not equal this patch. As much as Cyrax and Lao have definitely run the game in the past, there were always replacement cameos. So for Cyrax, it was just Striker. And Lao cameo got his replacements when all the cameo buffs happened. Now you could choose Motaro, the Johnny Cage nerfs, and the damage pass nerf that happened when Johnny Cage got nerfed. Still not as big. I mean, it killed a character like Baraka and definitely hurt Melina, but things weren't truly shaken up. Like, yes, we lost Baraka in the top 5, and then Melina, who was winning a bunch of tournaments, wasn't seen anymore, but we still had Raiden. We still had Ashrah. We still had Kenshi. And even then, Johnny turned out to still be great, because, yeah, he got a second round of nerfs here. Let's go over the changes really quickly, and then I'll go into why I think they are so impactful. A big one, Johnny Cage essentially got normalized. The bee's knees, which is his down 1, is now 7 frame startup instead of 6. That brings it in line to be equal to almost all the other cast members. Some cast members have 8 frame down 1s, but nobody else had a 6 frame. Roughhouse, his front punch is now +1 on block, down from +3. I saw people complaining about this, but Johnny is still plus. It's still his turn, and he has other plus frame strings. Was it Rewind or somebody else that tweeted it that, yeah, just hit different buttons? You have other plus frames. And it's very validating for me because, yeah, I feel the same way. Like, yeah, it's +1 instead of +3, and you could still use other plus strings if you want to. He's still a good character. He just got normalized because he easily had the best pressure aside from Kenshi Ghost. And it's hard to warrant all those plus frames and the best down 1 in... What the? Oh my cat just jumped on me. And it's hard to warrant all those plus frames and the fastest down 1 when you also have the fastest hit confirmable mid in the game and a 10 frame launching mid. So it makes sense to normalize some things, because I always gave the complaint about Johnny Cage that he had everything. We'll do the rant one more time now that things are changed. He has a broken jump kick hitbox. He has mix-ups. He has multiple different fatal blow interactions. He has plus frames. He had a 1 frame parry. He has star meter, so he can use special moves back to back to back. Fastest mid in the game alongside another super fast mid, an 8 frame almost unreactable full screen shadow kick that could punish almost every button in the game. 8 frames, by the way. 8 frames for that special move that goes full screen. A stand 1 jab is 7 frames. A down 1 is 7 frames. Great damage for having all of that, which is really surprising because normally when you have a character that either has a lot of chip damage due to having a lot of plus frames or has mix-ups, you tone down the damage a little bit because the chip damage and the amount of openings you get with having mix-ups equals out the damage you lose by making it a little less. 6 frame down 1 he had, fastest in the game. I'm probably missing something, but that's the last time I have to go on that listing rant because NetherRealm finally listened and just normalized the character a little bit. He doesn't get everything in the game, but he just outclassed everybody while not having any of the trade-offs a normal rushdown character has. Kenshi got nerfed on both patches, and I actually think the most recent one, although it's only 1 nerf, slightly more significant in a way because it reduces the chip damage done by Ghost Finally. The issue with Kenshi is not only were you playing blocking simulator, you also just felt like you ate a full combo for playing correctly and playing very boringly. And then Kenshi now also takes 20 damage when Ancestor is hit by an attack. Ancestor is now vulnerable to attacks while Kenshi is performing a throw. That's to stop where Kenshi was resetting Ghost with a glitch using a throw whiff. So those were the Kenshi changes, which I think were pretty good. I don't think Kenshi needs to be nuked quite yet, because a lot of people are going to look at that and be like, that's a slap on the wrist. That is amazing. We went so many months where I was fully convinced NetherRealm was never going to touch Kenshi because he's so underplayed at the lower ranks. And I don't think you should nuke him when we're about to get a cameo in Janet Cage that could potentially give everyone a puppet, maybe not as good as Ghost, but rivaling it. Raiden, so another problematic character getting a slap on the wrist, reduce the damage done on block by electromagnetic storm and enhanced electromagnetic storm. That chip damage is so good that it's almost a match or set guarantee that at one point you are going to be chipped out for a round. It's going to happen to you almost every game. Not gonna lie though, this is one of the only changes where I feel like NetherRealm missed the mark. What actually makes the move super annoying is the fact that it's super hard to punish with most of the cast. If you just made that move super unsafe on block like it should be, because at the moment he plays like MK11 Cetrion, the way he just throws it out on block or hit no matter what, I wouldn't really care. It could chip me for even more than it was before. It's the fact that you feel powerless to it and then you have to chase him around the screen the whole game. Kung Lao Cameo, slightly increase the cooldown and slightly reduce the recharge rate of Buzzsaw when held. I get that the Kung Lao hat 50-50 mix-ups with every character is really annoying when characters go for jump-ins with it. That nerf though just seems very targeted at Sindel because Sindel holds it on the ground so long to do the float mix-ups. And because NetherRealm didn't actually go in and fix the Sindel problems yet, the easiest way to treat that problem was to make Sindel be able to do it less and not loop it so many times. And then the big cameo one, striker nades now have a longer recharge rate, at least the close ones, which is what you see 95% of the time, which in the past Scorpion mains would have been devastated by because we, you know, needed him so bad. With Chameleon being out, no Scorpions really care at this point. Everyone was happy by their striker nerfs. A sleeper buff was Ashrah somehow. I mean, okay, that is probably the most questionable thing I've seen. I know we're still in DLC era of the season, but mark my words, we are going to get an Ashrah meta at some point because she's not affected by any of the cameo nerfs really either, and she got a slight buff. It's gonna be rough at the later portions. Havik got a buff, but the issue is I haven't seen any Havik players since that buff. He kind of got buffed twice over because a big issue for Havik was people were interrupting that gap with striker nades and then full comboing, but Havik's Scab Stab no longer allows the opponent to perform a cameo ambush attack while it's in hit reaction. That's when he went for like the grab thing. It would be on hit right, but in the gap somebody could chuck striker nades out and literally full combo Havik for it. So they had to change it. And I'm surprised I haven't seen any because doubling down on fixing this with Striker getting even worse and the actual bug being fixed, and then skipping over some of the really minor changes that haven't affected anything like the Tanya slight changes. Quan Chi, new move, Zone of Waste added. It creates a zone that drains meter from the opponent, and if the opponent stands in it for an extended period, Quan Chi will briefly gain armor. Zone of Fear now lasts 2 seconds longer. Zone of Fear and Zone of Power, along with Zone of Waste, can now be active at the same time. Field of Bones and Enhanced Field of Bones now activates the cage trap if the opponent blocks the attack. Field of Bones and Enhanced Field of Bones now has an increased duration on the cage trap. Yeah, Quan is kinda nuts right now. Is he S tier? Probably not, but he's definitely A tier, and you can already see people using him. How about this? Before I go into why I think this patch is so impactful, can I just show you guys this match where somebody played Quan Chi against me, and look how insane this character is now? I just used the like playback feature, but he gets like tons of setups here. This was when I was a little newer with Peacemaker, but he gets the setup. This just like auto sets up when I block. Like I don't have to get hit, nothing. It's just always setting up on me. And you'll see, he gets armor, it feels like at all times. Like, obviously, I'm not the greatest right now. But right there, he could set that up, and then I'm armored. It starts up that fast. I can't do anything. And I'm back in a trap. And I'm in armor. So now he has armor. Like, he could just always put you in an armored state where, or he's getting armor. because it's not like he has to be standing inside it. It's if you, as the person playing against Quan Chi, are inside it. So he sets up the trap, and yep, good luck getting out. Like, even if the trap goes away, he's fully armored. He just plays very smoothly. Like, this isn't even probably the best Quan Chi player on the planet. This guy was just pretty good, and I played him early on, and I was like, oh, these buffs are sick. I want to try this character later on. That was actually my first combo of the set. That's kind of sad of me, and I dropped. Oh, this was this is my first time trying Cyrax, and I immediately messed it up. I love watching my trash early VODs. That was a crazy YOLO. I just want to see more Quan Chi stuff, though. I know he does more. Let's duck. Yeah, okay, so we get one final round of it. Along with the armor teleport, if he needs it. Getting always armor. Like, I'm in the trap, and now he has armor. Like, good luck. Now I gotta guess. Between overhead low. I got lucky there a little bit, because he messed up, but... That's just me burning meter. If you didn't know, yeah, Cyrax burns the opponent's meter. That anti-air was kind of nuts. Kind of nuts. This is really trash gameplay, by the way. I just hit myself on the on thing. Just see what this guy did. This is the only Quan I've really seen, though, so far. At least playing myself. That overhead right there is nuts. He could have full comboed me. I just could tell already, though, that, yeah, the thing's lasting 2 seconds longer and the new move is kind of wild. And I haven't even had somebody set up both portals on screen yet. This guy might have done it in the second one because he was using the one where you could shoot extra projectiles and stuff, but yeah, I can't believe these buffs. This character is definitely A tier at the moment. So that was all the changes, right? But why was that so impactful compared to, you know, the giant cameo patch we got? Finally, we have had a meta shift in some way. Like, we've had all these changes that have helped out characters a little bit, and I get that in an assist fighter, like, main teams are a thing and you want, you know, a main team composition. But with Striker being nerfed, there is finally a reason to play other cameos with characters. I am seeing so much variety in the game, finally. On top of that, we got a normalization for Johnny Cage. That just made Johnny way more fun to fight against. Like, I still think he's good. When I fight him, I'm like, oh boy. But he has to actually think about it now. He can't just use those +3 frames and the 6 frame down one as a crutch because it's so much faster than everybody else's. Kenshi Ghost, it's gonna be harder to tell on Kenshi because there's so few players at the middle to lower ranks. But as I start uploading Road to Rank 1 again, we'll really get a better idea. But so far, in the one Kenshi I've played, after the 20 or 25 seconds of blocking is over, I feel like our health bars are still somewhat comparable. I don't feel like I've instantly lost the round because I let Kenshi hit me once into the block strings. Raiden can't start rounds early because if you've already been on here with the quality of life changes, yeah, the second round you feel that little delay, so nobody can start early. But on top of that, less chip. I could feel it already. I don't feel like my health bar is being wiped out for no reason. I think that's an interesting problem MK1 was having that I didn't ever really notice in MK11. There was a whole bunch of characters that it felt like you could be playing decent against, like not getting hit very often, but then you look up at the health bar and you are just drastically lower than the opponent. I'm still watching Ashrah though, because Ashrah is a big culprit of that. She only has to hit you once or twice with combos. Quan Chi being brought from the depths to be a really interesting character, like somebody I'm going to play once I'm done labbing Peacekeeper. Havik getting the needed changes. I don't know when I'll play Havik necessarily because it's kind of a YouTube thing that I don't play Havik much. It's why a lot of people don't, but just helping him out in the right way. He was at the depths as well. I'd say though, just really summing it up, changing Striker and hurting Lao Cameo a little bit more has just brought variety. Finally, I'm not locked into playing against the same 2 cameos over and over and over and over and over and over again. And when I play the top tiers, while they are still good, they don't give me a massive headache. I can respect that those characters are meant to be good, which nobody has fun losing, but there's just like a difference. Like when I get beat up by a smoke that's canceling like crazy and going, you know, super hard, or Melina that's just really getting me good, like I love losing to those characters because I'm watching cool things happen. What's actually being done to me is not really cheap. It's just me messing up, or you know, the player having a ton of skill. These other characters though, just, I'm so glad they're normalized, because you were just having no fun because it was just autopilot. I mean, Raiden is a great example. Cetrion MK11 is Raiden in this game, and any steps back really helps, because we all hated MK11 Cetrion. Even if you're one of those people that's like, I love MK11 so much better than MK1. If you loved MK11 that much better, then you know you were probably a Cetrion hater, which makes you a Raiden hater, because everyone hated Cetrion in MK11 because she was so good for so long, but so good because you had to chase her down. She just always canceled into strings that were just either plus on block or just safe and stuff like that. This patch has really done it for me so far. I've been actually enjoying my time online on MK1 again. The community woke up with these changes. Even if they weren't that severe, it's like everybody realized, oh wow, we can play the whole cast.